Hello, everyone, and welcome to SAU Tech's weekly podcast. We call it Workforce Wednesday, originating from the studios of KCAC Radio on the campus of SAU Tech. You can visit the website at sautech.edu. Here's our host for today's program, Vice Chancellor for Workforce and CTE Programs, Dr. David Mason.
Well, good afternoon, everybody, and happy Wednesday. Welcome to the Workforce Wednesday Takeover podcast. This has been a long time coming, about a year in the making, so we're super excited to kick off the podcast on this Wednesday afternoon. At SAU Tech, we do believe that every day is a workforce day, but especially on Wednesdays when we take over the airwaves and bring you voices shaping our industry. So I'm your host, David Mason. I'm the Vice Chancellor of Workforce and CT at SAU Tech. And joining us today on the podcast is Site Director of Lockheed Martin's Camden Operations, Adam Bailey. Adam, so welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Good to have you here. And why don't we just go ahead and start off by, if you could just tell us a little bit about yourself, kind of your journey. How did you get into Lockheed Martin? Did you know you were going to Did you ever want to work there? Did you want to take the traditional career path? Did you take a non-traditional career path? So just tell us a little about your career journey and your story.
Okay, absolutely. And thank you for having me, Dr. Mason. I'm honored to be the inaugural guest for the podcast. So happy to be here. And you're right, a long time coming with workforce development, and the things you guys are doing at SAU Tech are just phenomenal. So I just want to say that first and foremost. You guys are fantastic partners to us in the industry, and we appreciate everything you've done. And Dr. Thomas as well. Y'all have been fantastic, as well as your teams in the background. For my journey, so I'm a local guy. I live in Bearden, Arkansas, where I was born and raised. And I actually graduated from SAU Tech, class of 2004. So straight out of high school at Bearden and came to SAU Tech. I like to tell people SAU Tech wasn't plan A, but it was plan B. And sometimes plan B is plan best. Mm-hmm. And so it was the best thing for me to come to SAU Tech for my first 2 years, get an opportunity to graduate here with my associates, and then move on to achieve my bachelor's. So that was my journey through school. I do have a bachelor's degree from Henderson State University that I achieved after graduating SAU Tech with my associates. My work journey did start at Lockheed Martin about 19 and a half years ago. So I started in production planning and control, or PP&C, as we call it, which is our materials department. And I've worked my way up through various levels of management and also various types of positions. So lots of experience and just varied experience. So I got to kind of craft my own way through and diversify my experience while all staying at the Camden facility, which is somewhat unique, but intentional nonetheless. You know, I took opportunities that others may not have wanted, and also opportunities that I thought would be advantageous for the future of my career, even though they may not have been the exact same thing I wanted to do right at that moment. I knew the benefit that could come in the future, so I took those opportunities. And over 19 and a half years, again, I finally got the opportunity to take over as site director, which is a phenomenal opportunity and not one that's often achieved without a rotation outside of Camden operations or coming into Camden operations from somewhere else. So I'm very honored to be able to take over as site director of our Camden operations. And let me just say, we have a phenomenal team, and nothing we do is possible without that phenomenal team. And it takes every one of our 1,180 employees, 84 as of this week. We started 4 on Monday, 1,184 employees to make us go every day and make us successful. And without them doing what they do, I can't do what I do, and we can't be successful. So I'm just extremely proud of my team and proud to be a part of it.
Yeah, I appreciate you sharing that. And you know, so many times we hear stories about how kind of people jump and hop around, but it's great to hear a success story where you're working from the ground up all the way to the top. I mean, that's a great story, Adam, and thanks for sharing. Can you go into a little bit about, we've had a lot of expansion here in Camden with Lockheed Martin. Can you talk a little bit about some of the things that are happening at Lockheed Martin, some of the expansion projects, some of the partnerships?
Sure. So just for relevant history, I'll say, so back in 2018, we ended the year with 594 employees. And coming into this year, and as I mentioned, as of this week, we're at 1,180. So we've almost doubled in size since 2018. So just over 7 years, we're working to double in size and looking at, similar growth into the future with several things you probably heard about in the news. We have head of agreements, as they're being called, and multi-year procurement contracts ahead of us on multiple programs that are supported out of Camden operation, some of which we will double and triple our production and even beyond that in some cases. So very exciting times for what's ahead and the programs that we build in Camden operations. Looking forward to the growth, continued growth for our site, and then expanding our employee base and continuing to partner with SAU Tech, who is critical to making us successful in that process.
Yeah, we're going to be busy
Yeah,
over the next
absolutely.
several years,
Yeah.
so with training and upskilling.
Certainly.
So we appreciate the partnership. And so how do you see the industry changing over the next couple years?
So change over the next couple years, it will be as fast as the change over the last few years. And so what I mean by that is we've always been known for building a phenomenal product of high quality. And we've done it at the speed requested of us. But over the last few years and then looking forward into the future, speed is of the utmost value. And so while we still have to deliver that quality product, we still have to sustain and remain attentive to and visual of our quality standards and keep it at the highest quality standard, because our munitions, our products have to work the first time every time in order to support the warfighter. There is no press the button and it doesn't go, you know, so you're relied on in those critical moments. Our products are relied on in those critical moments. Our employees have to keep that top of mind, but we also have to shift into this speed and affordability mindset. And not that we've not had that mindset, but speed has been to match contracts that we've had in the past, whereas speed in the future is going to be critical for meeting and exceeding the contractual demands of the future, so that we can pull in demand from the future, do it sooner to refill the coffers of our government and the munitions that are out there.
Yeah. So with the expansion that's happening, job creation, not just expansion of facilities, but job creation, wage increases, those type of things. So can you talk a little bit about, you know, some of the skill gaps that you're experiencing, what you look for in a candidate as you're interviewing those candidates? What does Lockheed Martin have to offer if I wanted to go and interview with Lockheed Martin?
Yeah, certainly. So there's a lot to the answer. To answer the question, that's a multifaceted question, definitely. So what we're looking for, some of the skills that we are targeting right now are controls engineering and data analytics. So we need, with the use of robotics and cobots and AI in the workforce, and that becoming more and more prevalent, we need people that understand those, know how to program them, know how to take the data that AI is giving us and then translate it into something that's actionable. Because data without action is just data, right?
That's right.
So we have to be able to take that data, understand what it's telling us, and utilize it. And those data analysis individuals are going to be a critical part of our team in the future, as well as helping us to do things like model our processes, see how our processes can change and be changed to be more efficient and effective. And we use digital modeling a lot for that. So the data analysis and digital modeling and controls engineering are going to be huge skill sets for us to look for in the future from a specific and critical skill set aspect. From a volume aspect, we're going to be looking for a lot of assemblers. So we need a lot of people that are going to be touching the hardware every day and being relied upon to do quality work and put the product out the door. These are phenomenal members of our team that, again, that's back to we can't do it without them, and I mean that. Yeah. I tell those individuals every chance I get how much I appreciate them and the hard work that they do, because their focus and their dedication to our mission is critical. Mm-hmm. And so from a volume standpoint, that's going to be the largest growth of our employee base will be in the assembler population. Mm-hmm. From coming to Lockheed Martin, so why Lockheed Martin is kind of how I like to frame that question. Mm-hmm. Why Lockheed Martin? So we are a phenomenal company. Like I say, been there 19 and a half years and can't say enough good things about it. So on reputation alone, we are a great company, but also our culture locally. So the Camden culture is a culture of understanding our mission, understanding what our customer needs are, and the lives that we impact in and around the world from the products that we build right here in Camden, Arkansas. And so it's an easy thing to rally around if you really buy into that mission, and our culture supports delivering to our warfighter on time, every time. That's a critical thing. Is like, I'm not going to say we don't know how to fail, because we fail and we get back up and we run again, right? But we don't fail and stay down, and we don't. And we know that when we do fail, we have to get back up and run. Mm-hmm. We can't get back up and slowly, retake our place amongst the programs. We have to move quickly to reestablish our position to support the warfighter.
So, with all these new positions and all the things that Lockheed Martin has to offer, how do you retain those individuals. So can you talk a little about some of the strategies you have internally that are retaining tools? How do you keep those individuals there that do say, yeah, I want to go work for Lockheed Martin?
Right. So you're not holding back. You're asking the tough questions today, man. This kickoff sure has the tough questions. No, I'm only kidding. This is actually something we think about a lot. We know that with the growth ahead of us, that we have to start from a firm base. And starting from a firm base means retention. And so our focus is on retention, as it has been, but it continues to be, and it's a heightened focus on retention. So our growth path over the next couple of years, so we'll have 26 with slight growth, 27 slightly flat for us at Lockheed, and then 28, 9, 30, and beyond, significant growth in population. So we know that we have to firm up now at this moment our retention. We have to focus on it so that our base stays firm. Who's with us today, I want to be with us in 5 years. I want to be with us on this journey of growth. So that is a focus item for us. And a lot of the ways we do that, it's different depending on position, obviously. But some of the main ways are through career pathways. So we like to talk to our employees about opportunities that are with Lockheed Martin. Come with us, get your foot in the door, so to speak, as people might reference it, and then explore what career pathways are available. So we encourage all of our employees to take advantage of our education reimbursement programs. So we do offer up to $72,500 for every employee to take advantage of on a tuition reimbursement basis, as long as the career there or the education they're pursuing fits with a Lockheed Martin career. We will pay for it. So go pass the class. We'll reimburse you for that course. So we are taking actively, and I hope we get a chance to talk about our high school recruiting program. But we're actively taking people into our assembler ranks and our PP&C ranks from high school, and we're training them in the skills they need, and then putting them on that pathway, hopefully to start their education as immediately as the fall semester after graduation while they're still employed with us. Come to school. Go to SAU Tech. I'll say that out loud. Go to SAU Tech. Take advantage of what we have right here in our backyard and start pursuing your associate's degree, and then continue on to your bachelor's degree. Your career will grow with that. And so those career pathways are part of what we offer as a retention pathway. So if you are successful in growing your education outside of Lockheed Martin and your career is successful inside of Lockheed Martin, you will have opportunities to grow as we grow. Yeah. So I do tell everyone, though, I say be the best at the job you have today. Be the best you can be at the job you have today, because there's no chance of you getting a job in the future or a promotion or advancement if you're not good at what you're doing today. So don't lose sight of what you're actively doing, but work to better yourself, work on those career pathways, take advantage of those opportunities. I tell employees a lot, say yes when other people are saying no to opportunities, do the hard job, so to speak, and don't be one that shies away from that. But our career pathways are open. There's several, again, the retention is there, and I've lived this career pathway. I mean, I didn't live it from an assembler, but I lived it from an entry-level position. The assemblers actually make more today than I made starting as a professional when I started out of college. So they're high-paying jobs, they're high-wage jobs, and they have fantastic opportunities. Just to rattle off some of the benefits for the sake of any listeners out there who may be interested in Lockheed Martin, we do offer very competitive wages at top of the class for the industrial park and the surrounding region. So I'll advertise that. But also we have fantastic 401k match. So if you contribute, Lockheed Martin will put in up to half of 8%, so that's 4%. Wow. And then they'll also, if you are even just a contributor at all, they'll do 6%. So you're getting 10% on your 401k. And I know it's hard for an 18-year-old to think about retirement, but the sooner you start saving, the better off you're going to be. So a large benefit there to start saving for your retirement as soon as you have the opportunity. I encourage people to take out before you ever get that first check. You'll never miss it, right? Yeah. And you'll never regret it. Yeah. And so that's just one of the aspects from a compensation standpoint that we offer.
Yeah, those are great, really great benefits. And I wish I knew when I was younger that there's companies that exist like Lockheed Martin where you can leverage all those opportunities, because as a middle-aged man now, I do look back and say, wow, I wish I would have started, saving sooner for retirement. I wish I had a company that would have invested in me and paid for my education. And I think that's where we are right now in education. We've got a lot of folks that say, well, we need degrees, we don't need degrees. And I'm saying we need both, right? And so, but I do want to ask you another, and we always ask the hard questions here.
Yeah.
So here's another hard question
right.
for you. So, give us an example of a success story of someone that you've hired that maybe didn't follow the traditional pathway, that did follow that non-traditional, like I'm going to graduate high school and then get into the workforce. Can you share a success story with that?
So we have several. I mean, there are almost too many to list. It's just and how you define success, right, is up to you. But I mean, we have several success stories. We have people that are on my senior staff team today. So one of the highest positions you can achieve in Camden, Arkansas, that started out as assemblers and started out as technicians, in the maintenance department, and they worked their way up. That shows the possibilities of career progression. If you're willing to put in the work, Lockheed Martin has the opportunities, and you can take advantage of those. Some of the recent individuals that I can speak of, and I won't call names, but some of the recent individuals that we've had graduate from high school, start with Lockheed Martin before their summer even got started, right? So if they intended on having a last summer, they missed their opportunity because they were with us starting in June and some even in May. And they're already well on their way into working up in the workforce. So they're looking at opportunities as they started out maybe as in PP&C, and they're looking to be planners very, very soon. They've had those opportunities. We have one individual that I'm particularly proud of, and this is another partnership with SAU Tech. I feel like I'm a commercial for you guys. Another partnership with SAU Tech through our machining apprenticeship program. So started straight out of high school. We put this individual and a couple of individuals into a machining apprenticeship program, and they are now a highly paid, high wage earning machinist in our machining center for Camden operations. And that's just through that apprenticeship program, it gave them the skills, and it's continuing to give them the skills while they are still training, but put them in a position it's a lifelong position and a lifelong skill that you can take anywhere. If you don't want to stay at Lockheed Martin, which I hope you do, but if you ever decide you want to move somewhere around the world, then take off, but you have this skill that can never be taken away from you. You have this apprenticeship, Department of Labor recognized apprenticeship that you can always take with you and use it anywhere you go. But like I said, I hope they stay with us because those are high-earning positions. Those are fantastic jobs that become careers. And so I don't want to give the impression that you have to change roles to have a great career progression, because you don't. We have steps and labor grades and everything where people can start in a role. They love that role. They're a high contributor at that role, and they can retire in that role and still make a fantastic living for themselves and their families.
Yeah, so, gosh, that sounds almost too good to be true, Adam. But I know firsthand because we work with you guys. We provide training. We work together on recruiting events. And you mentioned earlier about your high school recruitment. So can you maybe take a little bit deeper dive into what that looks like for you guys?
Absolutely. So that I'm very proud of this program. We started about 3 years ago, and I think we've hired just over 55, 57 individuals into that program. We actually have it starting next week. We have 2 nights where we're going to bring out local high schools. This year, I think we're doing 9 schools, students from 9 schools. We put out an invitation to the high schools. We work with the counselors, high school principals, and tell them what we have to offer at Lockheed Martin. Ask them for their students that are graduating seniors, that are workforce bound and interested in a career at a company like Lockheed Martin. We treat it like a senior day. On your senior day, you get to bring, you can take a parent, you go tour the campus, you see the classroom, you talk to maybe some instructors, professors that would be teaching in your subject area. We want to do the same thing, so we model that. We bring the students into our facility. We give them a shop floor factory tour. We show them this is not your grandpa's dirty shop. You're not looking at dirt floors or even dirt on the floors in a lot of cases. So we've been called the operating room for heavy equipment, and we take pride in that and keeping our workspace clean. But it shows them the environment. It's cool in the summer and warm in the winter. It's a fantastic work environment that they would be coming into. But we also talk to them about the benefits, some of which we've talked about, for working with Lockheed Martin, and also the education opportunities to continue their education on Lockheed Martin's dime. That always appeals to the parents, because you have people that are, I want to start workforce. The kid, maybe the student maybe want to go to work, and the parent want them to go to college, and this is a compromise. This is the best of both worlds. You can start your workforce journey, your career, literally your career, and then start college at the same time. So you bring one parent or one guardian with you, so you get to bring somebody much like a college day. That person becomes your support. They've seen it too. They heard the message as well. They heard the tuition reimbursement opportunities, the pay, entry pay opportunities, and they're amazed. We've actually recruited some parents through it. So
really? So kids and parents.
That's right.
Yeah,
So
that's good.
if you have a parent that's interested and a kid that's coming, please bring them out. We'd love to hear from both of you back on the application and have you join the team. But that program is phenomenal. And again, we're doing it next week, I think the 17th and 18th. We'll have students out to us in the evening. They'll tour our ground vehicle assembly building, see our HIMARS production lines, our M270 and THAAD production lines, get to actually hold some tools, pop some rivets, do some active things. Students
stuff.
always enjoy that. But it exposes them to the tools they would use in the workplace. Not to the extent by any means of the apprenticeship program, but the apprenticeship program does that as well. Allows us to take those students straight out of high school, expose them to the tools and all the skills they would need in the workforce, and then put them to work using that same very tools. Very same tools.
Yeah. Talk real quick, just a little bit about the apprenticeship program and our partnership.
So the apprenticeship program is actually, if in my opinion, and a lot of the staff's opinion, is what has allowed us to start recruiting high school. So one of the major changes for us in how we recruit and who we recruit, if you back up, 4 or 5 years from today, we thought you needed, 1 year experience. Industry experience was a bonus. If you've done manufacturing somewhere else, we thought you needed that. And we shifted our mindset on that. A lot of our leadership, some adopted more quickly than others, as you can imagine, but I think all of our leadership is fully bought in to the model now that we have through this apprenticeship program, where we can take a student coming straight out of high school. We meet you where you are on your skills, and that's a term we like to use, meet you where you are, because there are varying skill levels, and we're going to give you the skills you need. So we're not looking for skills anymore. We're looking for attitude. Yeah. We're looking for a cultural fit, somebody that's going to fit our team, be a positive, contributing team member, come to work every day and do what's asked, the tasks that are asked of them, and then grow their career. So we want them to have ambition. We want them to want to grow. We want them to have commitment and loyalty to our company and to the mission, to the war fighters that are ultimately our customer in the end. We want them to buy into that mission and just represent our culture well. We'll give you the skills.
Yeah. That's good.
And the apprenticeship program allows us to do that.
Yeah. So what I hear you say, and we try to advocate this at college, is that, we can teach the soft skills, right? So, but we can't teach passion and motivation and those type of things. So it sounds like that's what you're saying from an employer standpoint.
Yeah, very much so.
Okay. So we'll keep saying that for you, and we'll keep improving on our programs and getting you connected with those high schools and even maybe some of those parents too. Yeah. But one last question as we wrap up, and Adam, we could sit here and talk for the next 2 hours on all the things that we're doing together, and it's just been a great partnership to work with Lockheed Martin, and we really appreciate you helping us launch the inaugural episode today. But if I was interested as either a parent, a student, someone in the community that is looking to maybe get an interview or apply for Lockheed Martin, how would I do that? Where would I go?
So you go to www.lockheedmartinjobs.com, and you simply do a search there to allow you to filter it down. You can look for Camden, Arkansas. It'll bring you to our direct job board and apply for anything that you're qualified for right there. If it's your first time visiting the website, it'll invite you to create a profile where you can upload your resume. The first time, takes a little longer as you do create that profile, but from then, it's simple, grab my profile, click my resume, apply to this, apply to this, apply to this, if that's what you desire to do. One thing you and I have talked about a lot is programs that SAU Tech offers you an opportunity for a guaranteed interview opportunity, right? And so I look forward to continue to work with SAU Tech to cut out some of the red tape of applying at a company like ours. Not that you won't still have to apply, but kind of puts you at the front of the line. So Tech will, in the future, we talked about offering programs to where you graduate, complete the program, and you get to the front of the line, essentially, from an interview standpoint. And it's a guaranteed interview program, and I think that's a phenomenal idea and something I look forward to continuing to work with SAU Tech on. But in the meantime, www.lockheedmartinjobs.com. Come join our team.
Well, appreciate Adam. Appreciate the conversation. Appreciate that you were here helping us kick off our first episode of the podcast. Man, what a way to launch the show. And just appreciate you being here. For our listeners, we got a lot in store for you coming up. So please stay tuned. Make sure to follow us on LinkedIn, Facebook, subscribe to our channel. And I'm David, and this is Workforce Wednesday Takeover. Adam, thanks so much for being here.
Absolutely. I enjoyed it. Appreciate you inviting me out.
Thank you for listening to Workforce Wednesday podcast with your host, Dr. David Mason. For information concerning workforce, check out the website, sautech.edu. Join us next week for another Workforce Wednesday podcast. And thanks for listening.